We are live. Hey, good morning. We are going live today for another soul care live class, and I'm super excited. I will be inviting Eveline from Evie's Joy Factory, and I see you already, so I'll send you an invitation. Being on. Really excited for today's soul care live class because it will be a very special one. Hey, good morning, dear.
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Yes, doing good. You're looking great. Beautiful one.
Thanks.
Yes, you look beautiful. And I'm so happy that you took out the time of your busy schedule to be here today. And I'm really so honored. I would love to kind of let everybody that will hop on during today's session or that will watch this later when we save it in the Instagram TV stories. I would love to kind of give you a warm welcome by sharing what it is that you do and how we know each other. So you, Eveline, you came into my life. And you came into my life with a big gift, for me at least, but also for the world. And I see it really as you daring to open up with me, and you gave me the pleasure of me being able to be of service to you in a way that I had never experienced before. And by trusting me, you gave me such a big gift of actually trusting even more in myself. And I really feel that I'm so grateful for meeting you and for you, just hopping in my life on that day that you did.
You're gonna make me cry.
Well, I just want to say that I really see you as such a beautiful being, such a beautiful soul. You really have this multiple, you're such a multi-potential. You have so many gifts to share. You're, apart from your business, as you're the founder of Evie's Joy Factory, where you coach a lot of beautiful people in, releasing their inner strengths, joy, love, and really embracing their vulnerabilities. And apart from that, you're also a mom of two girls. So you're a multiple business owner.
Yeah, that in itself is just being a multi-potential. I mean, I work from home and I love working from home. And now with the lockdowns and quarantines, there's no other way than to work from home. But it's a big part of my day and makes you juggle things a bit.
Well, I believe you do that very well, and you even help others do that and create kind of organize how to do that. But there's so much more on what you do, and maybe I'm leaving out things. So I would love to before we start, I would love to check, like, did I leave out anything? And would you maybe want to start with something to share today?
Well, first of all, this is a great way to start it's not starting my day, but having all your compliments and your sweet words is just really uplifting for me as well. Imagine just me being vulnerable and going out and seeking help. And with me seeking help, I help other people grow in themselves as well. I mean, that is just the essence of what we're talking about today. And it's so beautiful to see how that happened, how we both walked away from our sessions with so much more confidence. And as far as what I do and being multi-creative or multi-passionate, it's been a pain in my butt for a long time. I mean, I had so much trouble letting it come together and using multiple things at the same time. So yes, I do help others release their strengths and their inner dreams. And for me, lately, I've just sort of been able to connect it all. It's all about connecting the outer world with your inner world in order to grow more strength. And I do that in a lot of different ways. I mean, I'm a professional organizer, but I also do some graphic designing. I do coaching all the time, even when I'm not working. I coach everyone. So yeah, I think you sort of, I think you hit all the right points there.
Good. All right. Thanks. And really love that you kind of elaborate on it. And I love how to, yeah, how you already touched the core of today's topic, because, you know, before we got on live today, of course, we had a chat and we were looking at things on how to, you know, how to be of service to you watching this video as well. And we came to this beautiful, or well, you came to it, and I even changed it at the end. Sorry for that. But we together came up with something that we felt good about and thought would be super, yeah, would be such a beautiful theme that we all know, and that we all of us human beings struggle with. Yeah. And it is how to embrace your vulnerabilities, but also from there on, how to create the life you desire. And I thought it really, yeah, you are the right person for this. Because,
oh, thank you.
Yes, you are. This is
lined up, didn't it? Last week, out of something else we were pursuing, it just lined up to, we were both in this place apparently where this was a major thing in our lives right now, or this is something we are talking about. So it's just beautiful how it sort of meshed together and created this.
Yes, and this, how to embrace your vulnerabilities, is something so valuable for everybody. And I would love to kind of, yeah, check in with you, like, what does this topic mean to you? What has your life been like around this topic?
I think for me, it's been just a culmination of a lifelong struggle. And that may sound a bit like, ooh, are we getting into this? But I think vulnerability is something everybody has to deal with, struggles with. Even the people like me or you who embrace it freely now, there's always something vulnerable, even if you feel powerful, even if others think so. And for my personal story, it's like, I'm quite a sensitive person. I cry easily. I have a hard time, you know, putting up a mask or disguising how I truly feel. And I can just remember from such a young age, like being 4 or 5 years old, this being a bad thing, something I had to hide. And that has just followed me along such a long time until, I guess, just 5 years ago. And when things started to change for the better. But even up until, I mean, last week, or even up until today, where maybe you see it, I lost a piece of my tooth yesterday. And my vulnerabilities just immediately started bubbling up, like, oh my God, you can't do a conversation like this. What are people gonna think? And it's just also so beautiful to see how I could just say, like, not really important, it's just who I am. It's just like a fancy quirk today, and I can let it go. It's so beautiful to see the journey that I've come through.
Yes. Yes, I love how you say that, and I love your smile, so please keep on because it's, yes, you know, it is only you, or you, maybe now saying it to you, but it is only me who knows this or who thinks this. But, you know, everybody else around us will always have a different perception.
Yeah.
And everybody really sees what they want to see or what they're able to see in that moment. And that often, people are often so busy with themselves. And that's not because they want to hurt you, but because sometimes survival is already so hard, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is always about how can you live your life in a way where you enjoy and really, you know, release that joy. Like, this is what I kind of hear in what you say. Like, it is not about what others think. We already have it so busy in our own minds we cannot even think for the other, right? It's a tendency I used to have as a pleaser, but and I'm curious, like how maybe how do you relate to this? But yeah, we can't think for someone else, so let's just think for ourselves, right?
It's really interesting how it's such a major part of our society, of our lives, of our upbringings, of our just the way our brain works even. I mean, it's just how our brain is wired and set up from the beginning. It's what you do with it after. Once, I mean, I had such a struggle wanting to fit in or feel more at ease. And I always thought the difference would be made by acting differently or being differently or learning to be different. And I actually thought I was doing the right thing there until I was just so exhausted I mean, I was just being so different, even more than I could really grasp myself. Once I started uncovering it, that's when I realized, like, whoa, that's a lot of layers I didn't even know I was carrying. And it's actually when I was just fed up with it. I was just like, I was depressed. I was burned out. I've had the whole thing. I was just like, I don't want to do it anymore. I just was like a screaming toddler on the ground. I mean, I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. And as soon as I stopped doing it, it was just like everything started growing, and it went slowly and it had hurdles, but we seem to keep thinking that it's the outside that determines our value, but it's actually how you think about yourself. And as long as you're listening to what others are saying or feel like that is the way you make your, how do I say this? Like seeing the outside as a thermometer for your own valuability of yourself, you're never going to get there. It's not like they decide how you're supposed to feel. And as soon as you start feeling better about yourself, it is just funny how people say different kind of things to you. You don't even really care about their opinions anymore. I mean, it's like, whatever. It doesn't mean it never hurts or it's not scary, but yeah, it's just the whole, you have to flip it around. It's from inside out, not from the outside in. And that's such an interesting way that it's so prevalent in our society. And we have such a hard time letting it go. And we're even maybe jealous of seeing other people like, well, she is so happy, that's never going to happen. And you resent people for it. Well, it's actually a really simple thing to just start with you.
Yes.
In short.
That's it. Well, it's short, but it's so to the core of it. I don't think I have anything to add to this. I mean,
well, we're done then. Just it's done. Show's over, people. Just go back to work.
But this is the beauty of it. Like really going with the flow, and then making these jokes, like really getting life airy and putting humor in there.
Yeah.
Because I loved how you shared, of course there are hurdles, of course there's depression, of course there's burnout, and I loved how you gave it a picture of being the toddler on the ground, like it is so true, and it's so something that everybody actually recognizes. And what I was wondering is, what is for you, what was I don't want to do it anymore, what was that it?
Well, I had been, at that point, I've been doing it for so long. I think I was in my early 30s. So let's say I was 5 when I first really realized being me wasn't really an option, or it felt like it wasn't an option. And we all know kids' brains don't really see the whole picture. So it's like a survival mechanism that starts working. So I had been doing it for like, well, over 20 years. Trying to make it better, but I mean, if you start at the wrong end, it's never really gonna work, is it? So imagine me being extremely fatigued for over 10 years, I think over 15 years by that point, having my first depression at 20, having my first burnout actually in puberty, and multiple jobs and everything. I wanted to go for something, it didn't work out. I had a really hard time matching my expectations to what was actually happening or what I actually wanted. I had such expectations that weren't really mine. It was all based on what I seen around me. And I had two little girls, like one baby, one toddler, no perspective of any kind of joyful work life. I'd been a stay-at-home mom, which was my savior, stepping out of that outer world into my own. And I was just done. I was literally lying in bed most of the day, most of the days of the week, most of the months of the year, except for summer when it would be a little better. And I was just like, well, if this is it, if I'm not going to be able to have energy or work before my kids get out of the house, when they're 18 or 20, and then I felt like, well, if they're going to leave, I'm going to maybe have some more energy. Then I might as well just maybe start enjoying this downtime. And that's when I truly started to give into YouTube and watching TV shows, which sounds, I had a hard time accepting that, but I'm a very, very visual person. I love to learn visually. I love to dream into those TV shows. And it was an escape. Don't get me wrong. It was a total escape, but it led the way to recovery because I was just able to give in to my desires, first in maybe a bit of an unhealthy way. But the more I did it, the more I connected to what was actually being done, which was like I was connecting to my desires through TV shows, through learning things on YouTube, through other kinds of media. But yeah, that was the point. That was about 5-6 years ago. And at that same time, I discovered Marie Kondo, who is the Japanese expert behind the KonMari method. And something just clicked. I was like, oh my God, I have to release all this baggage from my house. So those two things together, accepting like, if laying down is everything I can do, I will make the best of it. I make it the best laying down I can do.
Yeah.
And then also like letting go so much baggage through organizing my own home.
I love that.
Yeah, it was a very magnificent experience, especially with organizing my home. That was just like a feast of letting go. It was marvelous, really.
I love, thank you so much for sharing so openly as well, like how deep it has been, but also, well, because it's always about that. It's about the little steps, and we can judge those little steps as you, for example, sharing about the TV shows or things that would help you absorb new information. And even though it could have been maybe an escape in a way, it is also a step towards the new step, right? And it's always so I love how it's freeing that you share these little steps and how important they are. And for everybody watching this later on, please don't judge those little steps, but see them as stepping stones towards those new layers of helping yourself out of that depth.
They're so valuable. I think the most progression is made in small steps because, life can be scary. Embracing your desires can be scaring. They trigger everything that is fearful to you. It's like, it's so obvious. The higher you go, the harder you can fall. It's just a human, there's probably scientific proof for that as well. It's just human. We get scared of being in a good place as much as we're scared of being in a bad place. But at least down there, you can't fall much further. Although you can, but you don't realize it. But yeah, it's the small steps. It's just taking a tiny, tiny step to get what is in your future and take it to where you are. And making it even, I think there's always something you can do to make it better, even if it's just making a cup of tea for yourself. If that is all you can do, then that is what you can do.
Yeah. Yes, I love how you share that, and I totally resonate with it, and also with the part of the fear of being that high tree catching. That's kind of a Dutch saying, like being a high tree catching all the wind. But it's actually what it means is, of course, when you're up that high, you can fall really low. But at the same time, you're touching on this thing of us human beings, fearing failure. But it's often we fear success even more, and that's where
Yeah.
that's where we touch today's topic on how to embrace your vulnerabilities, because, well, what I think is how it touches that is you really need to be willing sometimes to look at your vulnerabilities in order to help yourself kind of pull yourself out of that and put yourself up in that tree,
Yeah.
right? What does
Yeah.
that mean to you?
Well, I feel like I had this interesting conversation with a photographer I was working with the other day, and she was like, "Nothing bad really happened to me. Is every coaching thing asking about my extremely bad experiences to see where I want to grow or what has grown in me?" And she's like, I've had it good. So
Yeah.
what's the deal with that?" And I was really struck by her question, because I was like, well, I don't think I've had it good, but I've had a lot of growth, and
Mm.
so has she. I mean, it's not but it's interesting that to a certain point you really it's not that you have to be down, but being down really deep leaves you no other choice. Well, it does leave you choice. You can stay down there for years. I mean, I've been there for a decade trying to figure how to claw my way out of there. But there's something beautiful about surviving that can, maybe it just happened to me, I'm not sure, can help you keep trying things. I don't know. I don't know. This may be not true for everybody, because surviving can also just break you down and keep you there for years. It has done it to me too. But there is a human strength about not giving up. I mean, people have survived the most extraordinary and horrific things with just the willpower of wanting to be alive. It's such a powerful thing. And maybe it's the things I did, maybe it's me being lucky. I just felt like I could not accept there was no way for me to be me. I've had it from such a young age. And although I tried to disguise it and tried all the things to not be me, there was such a strong power inside of me that just wanted to break free. And maybe I'm getting a little off topic of your question. I'm like going back, like, what was the question? But yeah,
Perfect.
you can maybe it's just easier to start embracing your vulnerabilities when you're really low, because there's no other escape from it. It is so close to you. At some point you have to face it, or accept that life is going to be just where you are. And of course you're going to need help with that, and the more help you can get, the better. I mean, you do not have to do it alone. But also when when I dared to dream about an other life, when I dared to dream about maybe working, I started organizing myself. Then somebody wanted my help, was like, I can help you. I love doing this. It turned into a business. I flipped my business around 1 year in, like, what was I doing? And I just felt the inner need from going to organizing to more coaching. And that's when Evie's Joy Factory was called to life. And I realize now that once you're no longer scared of yourself, of your own vulnerabilities, of your own fears, nothing can really touch you. It doesn't mean, though, you're never scared or never vulnerable, but you come to a certain point where you just feel comfortable being you, or you just know, like, this is just my recipe. I have a lot of good things. I have some things that scare me, but I know what they are now. I can choose to stay comfortable for a bit and just let it scare me. I can choose to, I know better what things to do to get me out of that scary position, to build me up. But I do believe that there's no way you can create the life you truly desire. I mean, truly, it's not the money, the luxury yachts, or the traveling, just the life of being you without, or with being scared of your vulnerabilities. It's just never going to happen.
I totally agree with you. Yes. And I love, by the way, I love that people are starting to ask questions, and you kind of
Yeah.
answered one of them already. And thanks so much, everybody, for asking questions, and we see you. Thanks for that. we try
Yeah.
to answer during today's.
Yeah, and I will definitely also go back if I'm not sure if I'm allowed to, but if I'm allowed to comment on those questions later, I will go back later today or tomorrow to add some more.
Yeah, sure. Yes, would be lovely. I would love for you to do that. Also, I'm really touched by how today, how this conversation, how it flows so beautifully, and how you shared on, first you had this tool of organizing and how it helped you, for example, after some steps of going from deep
Yeah,
to higher up, when talking about allowing yourself more success, allowing yourself to get yourself out of that depth and really try and be open for new tools. And one of them for you has been the Marie Kondo
yeah,
method.
yeah. Love at first sight.
Love at first sight, yes. And then, like you just shared, you also kind of it helped you make a switch as well, or kind of an add-on to your coaching. Like it's broader, right? You kind of really help people now going through or giving tools. Would you maybe elaborate on that? Like what is
Yeah.
it that you see with your clients and how?
At the beginning, it was just like the elation I felt with getting rid of so much stuff from my past in my own home, getting rid of so much things that represented expectations I had, like, I mean, leftovers from hobbies I tried, and then feeling guilty for spending money on it, but not throwing it away or giving it to somebody else, but keep it in the closet because one day I will. It's like, keeping your clothes for when you're skinnier. All the mom with babies, you know what it's like. At some point, I realized this was way bigger than just organizing. I mean, the KonMari method is something I don't follow step to step anymore, but it gave me such a good framework of having a point to start. She has it's like, one, we start here at clothes. So that's what we're going to do. And so in my own journey, I felt so much more empowered. I felt I could let go of things. I had been literally stuffed books, things, memories I'd been carrying around for 30 years that actually made me really, really sad. And I was just so confused, like, why am I even keeping this stuff? Do I really need to remind myself how bad it's been? I suppose I can just remember it on my own. So something early on in the process, I was just also like loving it. It was really the thing I came out of my bed for. I felt energy doing it. Something clicked in my brain. The way she set it up, the way my brain works and wanted to do it just was seamless. And then I just started helping other moms from the school. We were just waiting to pick up our kids. And she was like, have you read this book? I'm like, oh yeah, I read it. She's like, I don't know where to start, but it's so interesting. I can help you. And I started helping her. And that's when I really discovered how, for me, it is, I sometimes say it's like, it's all about everything except for except for tidying up your home. The tidying up thing is just like this little part from such a big system. It is actually so much more about seeing, visualized what you're hanging on to in life, what you're literally hanging on to. What are your fears? Why do you need 30 mugs? Why do you need 15 pairs of jeans? What are you afraid of is going to happen? What are you afraid of if you let go of some souvenirs, some gifts you've been given that you don't really like? It's been so much more about tidying up your mind. And that's why after just about a year, or I think it was about a year, of having my organizing business, I felt so uninspired by it at some point. I wanted to do so much more, but I felt restrained by the restraints I set to myself. It's really funny, actually. And then I just, on a whim, started Evie's Joy Factory with just a desire to get more, discover actually more of myself as a coach. I had to prove myself that I could do it. Actually, I'm now, just a year later, I returned to organizing because it was such a passion. And I realized I don't have to be like every other organizer. I don't have to be like every other life coach. I use organizing with my clients to have their breakthroughs. It is just such a lovely way to work together and also see a result at the end. Because if nothing else, your closet is going to be tidy when I'm done with you after 3 hours. I mean, and that's when I also allowed myself to get more into graphic designs. I help entrepreneurs to let their logo and their brand express how they feel inside about their brand. I help moms to organize the systems in their home that are going to help her through the day, and not how it's supposed to be. I mean, a good example is everybody has their socks in their closets. But what if you're always bare feet in the house and you just need socks when you go outside? You put a box of socks next to your shoes in the hallway. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for me, but it can work for you. It's about letting your outer world reflect what is inside you, letting it help you to get the most out of your day and out of your life. It's just, I could talk about this for hours. I'm gonna pause here and let you get a word in.
No, I was actually really interested in how you do that. And by the way, somewhere outside of this building, there are some noises. I don't know if you hear them.
I don't hear it. No.
No, I really love. I'm so interested in this. You know, some of us may know this method, but some of us don't. And I'm one of the people that have not worked with it yet. So I was really listening to you, being here, being a professional, and I love how you know, every one of us, and that's also for the people listening now, talking about us too, talking about all those beautiful examples in the world that have set up their businesses, that are coaches or that are mentors in any kind. We all have our own tools, right? Something that resonates with us, something that we would love to pass on. And I love to hear about yours. And I love how you set an example for everybody here as well, on how to discover your own tools. Like, what is your vehicle? What is the thing that brings you, if you would see it as a car, for example, or a bike, or it's a vehicle that you take your client on that vehicle, right? And you help them discover their own vehicle that will help their clients, or their life, or their topic, get to that point from A to B. And it really is okay, whatever vehicle it is. It most important is that it resonates. And I love how you share that here.
Yeah, so, and I also feel like a lot of that lies in your guilty pleasures. I have loved watching TV from such a young age. It's better than books. I dare say it here. It's better than books, or just as good as. But it's something I felt super conscious about, like how are people going to perceive it? It's been frowned upon for such a long time, television killing intelligence and all that kind of things. But it's such, I mean, I'm such a visual person. It is really a no-brainer that TV is going to speak to me. I mean, how you use it is a second thing. I'm quite deliberate right now, having shut off like normal TV, so I'm not really... how do you say it? You know, when there's always something on TV, you keep flipping channel to channel, and then you just get sort of lazy in it, and you're actually escaping. But I just actually only watch like Netflix or those services, and it's really hard for me to put something on just as a background. It doesn't happen. It's just, it doesn't have my interest. So I feel like, instead of feeling guilty about your guilty pleasures, they actually have a lot to say to you. It's like I come into someone's house and they're like, I've been dreaming of, you know, painting this wall a bright red, but I mean, what about resale value? I mean, you can paint it white anytime. It's such a dumb discussion actually, but I'm like, what is my husband gonna say, and other people, and does it match with my whatever? Yeah. When there's actually a great message, apparently red is gonna make you really, really happy, and if it doesn't anymore, you're allowed to change your mind. If TV makes you happy, then be deliberate, but get into it. If it's books, if it's, I don't know, taxidermy, or let me say something weird here, I don't know. It has such great value to us to actually dare to look at what feels like a guilty pleasure, at what feels like I'm not really allowed to enjoy this. But there's a lot of information there. And I feel like if we could just feel, you know, let our guard down a bit, and dare to look at those kind of things a little more.
Yeah.
Create a safe space ourselves. Don't let, I mean, nobody's going to say to you, like, except when you look for help or a coach, like, okay, baby, time to step into your vulnerability today. It's time. It's not like my husband was there saying, like, okay, you got an hour. I hold down the fort. You go into your special place. No, I had to create those safe spaces for myself. But that is just a gift to you, to allow yourself to step out of your roles of being responsible and just, you know, let yourself, I don't know, it's like let yourself slide into that world, let yourself slide into that TV show, into a book, into whatever it is, music, and revel in it and see what kind of messages can come up. And then don't turn, I mean, that's the scariest thing. Don't turn away from what is calling you, because that is just, I mean, a calling. I don't know how it's like for you, but a calling can be really, really scary. It's beautiful. It's so strong, but you get sort of taken aback by, oh no, this means I've got to do things. That's so scary. But I mean, in dreaming, there's no real fear. It's just you and your mind. Just try to stay in there.
I really love this. What I would love to kind of let everybody watching this know is that you've kind of prepared something for us as an exercise. But maybe before we dive into it, I really love how you opened up this, you know, this extra layer even of how to kind of, you know, use these tools for yourself. And I was wondering, like, to help you really, you know, get into that safe space and to help you create that for yourself. I think it is something that once you've learned it, once you've mastered it, it is so helpful and it's so beautiful. But for some people, it might also mean like, how do I create that? What do I do? So could you maybe share with us what helped you? What helped
sure. I think for me, it's been a combination of a couple of things. So first of all, with starting, I've always had a thing for interior design, but it wasn't fulfilling because it was just more consumerism. I mean, buying more things. Then came organizing. And together they allowed me to create a space around me that just speak to my heart. I mean, everybody who's going to follow me on Instagram or sees me is going to see I love pink. I love it. I've always loved it when it was in, when it was out. I just love pink. And it's not just my favorite color. It's like every time I see pink, it's just like seeing a really gorgeous guy or girl. It's just like, oh my God, I'm so in love with this. So I have a very, very sweet husband who doesn't mind the amount of pink in my house, most places. So I was able to create a space that is unique to me, that to us and our family, it's not like just for me. But every time I open my eyes, I am greeted by a world that is reinforcing my strengths, that is giving me all the good vibes. So that's one thing, like, see if you can start in your own home with just making it feel more you. It's just, I mean, we are literally feeling safer in spaces that speak to us. It's just a thing. I mean, you step into a great big concrete building, you're gonna feel scared, unless it's your thing. But for most of us, it's not. So create a physical safe space. It could just be a corner, if that's all you've got to work with. It could just be a wall or a power spot, as Marie Kondo calls it, just a tiny thing. Create a safe spot. Secondly, there's a lot of inner work to be done in allowing yourself to enjoy, to, I'm looking for the word here, verwennen. Zeg het eens, Feline.
Gifting, maybe giving yourself gifts
There's a better word. It's gonna come.
Yep.
It's allowing yourself to, oh my God, this is awful. But
kind of bathing in luxury. Really.
I'm gonna Google it. This is stressing me out. But because it's just, the word is best, to pamper yourself, to indulge. Yeah. to indulge in what you like best. I have been ashamed for so long at indulging myself with TV. I was doing it, but it's making me feel bad, and like I wasn't listening or being a bad kid. I felt ashamed doing it, and releasing that takes a lot of inner work. I'm not sure how you could get help with that, you know, get a coach, get therapy, just start saying it to yourself. I will allow myself to indulge in what I love, because that is where your heart is. And of course it can have unhealthy ways of showing itself, with like being just, you know, lying on the couch all day watching TV. It's not going to help you get anywhere. So try to see it as a healthy habit and see how you can form it into what you love. And as soon as you allow yourself to indulge, I mean, why can't we indulge? Why is it always something? I've been asking this the last week, like, why do I always feel that before I can give myself something, I have to do something, or do something really big, actually, which always scares me even more. So create a physical space. Also give yourself just permission to do what you love. It is not supposed to be something you can do after you've done a chore. It's something you do before a chore, so the chore doesn't feel so much like a chore.
Nice.
And then remember, it is a never-ending story. This doesn't maybe sound optimistic, but it's just, it's not a destination you get to embrace yourself or your vulnerabilities. It's a journey, because every time you break through and embrace something, something is gonna come up to challenge you to go even deeper, even further. It's just energy. It can just renew itself endlessly. And sometimes you go back and sometimes you go forward, and it can just be a wobbly ride like this. But remembering that it's not a destination can give you so much more, you know, feel safer to start on it, to know that it's okay, whatever happens. You're gonna go up and down. It's life, it's hormones for a lot of us. I mean, it's just the way it goes. So allow yourself to not be perfect at it, I guess I'm saying.
Yes, what you're saying is, or it reminds me of this beautiful quote. I'm not sure if whose it is, but it is about that. That it's not about the destination, but that life, or each day, or each step is the journey itself. And it's also a way of, you know, it has a lot to do with mindfulness and really enjoying the moment, being in the here and the now. And I love how it touches these tools and tips and tricks. And I really hope that people watching this later on, you know, can get inspired by it. And
there's a lot of things you can do yourself just at home to make this happen.
Yes, so maybe that's a beautiful bridge as well to the thing you've prepared for us. Could you maybe explain why you prepared this, and then I'll just be here and doing this.
You were, of course, you asked me, like, maybe you can prepare something, and I had an immediate thought, and you're like, well, we did it last week or 2 weeks ago. I'm like, that's fine. I just thrive by having conversations, like real conversations. So what I really wanted to have the viewers experience is, it's going to be a visualization. In which I'm gonna take you. Maybe for some people it feels more like a meditation. Maybe for others it's something you haven't done so much. It's more like a daydream. But I want you to experience what it is like when you embrace, or start embracing, or even start connecting, or even just watching from around the corner to what is deep in your heart. What it is that you desire, but even more, what has the desire in you to serve others. I think that is even more the point. So I prepared something, and in which you can just sit down, be comfortable, relax. I'm gonna ask you to close your eyes in a bit and take some deep breaths, but I'm just gonna guide you through with my voice, which is hopefully soothing to you, to just step into this daydream and feel the power of even just not even taking action, but daring to dream about what it's like if you could embrace these things. So you want me to start?
Yes, I'm ready. And
Yeah.
for people that are hopping on just now, we are also saving this onto the Instagram account of Feline Boeming. That's mine, and we'll also put it on social medias for you can find it also on Eveline's social medias, and you can always watch this back later if you want. So we'll just do the preparation and the example here, and I'll just go along with your beautiful exercise, and everybody can do this whenever it fits.
Yeah, and even if you just tuned in, you don't need everything we talked about to do this. You just, just relax and go with the flow, really. So I'd like to ask you to sit comfortably, try to relax a bit, find a good position. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Another deep breath. And feel how your body softly moves with breathing, with sucking in the life and blowing out any tension you feel. You can do a quick body scan if you like. Feel your feet on the ground, your legs and your bottom in your chair. Feel where your arms are. Relax your shoulders. And now, when you've calmed down, see if you can feel something that is gently glowing inside your body. It can be any color you like. It can be around your heart. Maybe it's in your belly, in your chest. And while you keep breathing slowly, you want to look for something that makes you warm. It can be any color. Mine is always pink or golden. And I would like for you to give it space, that glowing, that light, to let it grow a bit. And I want you to feel how this light is actually your desires, your dreams. It has some of your most powerful abilities. This light that is still growing. Maybe it filled your body already. Maybe it's already going out of your body. That is your beautiful inner world, and it's powerful and strong and maybe even a little scary to look at. It is also what is ready to serve you and serve others. It is what you desperately want to share to the world around you. And I want you to listen for a bit and see if you can hear what it's telling you. See if you can hear how it would really like to serve you in this world. What effect would you be having on others if you allow this light to be shared, to come through you and send it into the world, even if it's scary, even if it scares you or maybe others around you at first? How would you help change lives? What is the calling that you are feeling? And if you wouldn't be scared of it, then what would you do with it? How would you embrace it? How could you be a team together? I hope you can feel also and experience the immense energy, but also the peace that comes with letting this glowing light grow, letting it embrace you, and maybe even wielding it like a sword of inner light with positive power. What if you could work with it even more? Make it grow and let it help you grow as well as the people around you. I hope you can feel in this experience that this light is not something to be scared of, even if it makes you scared sometimes. It is actually something to embrace, something that is going to make you stronger, something you can harness and use in your daily life. I'll give you a couple of moments to revel in this and let yourself be hugged by this light. Let it grow from within you to the world outside of you. Keep breathing slowly and let it embrace you. Let it touch your emotions and your heart. Enjoy this, being together with that light. And feel you are deserving of using this light, of bathing in this light, in this glow of positive energy, just as you are. No need to do anything. It is here for you at all times. Breathe it in, let it out. And I hope this feels really, really good for you. And in a couple of seconds, I'm going to ask you to slowly come back. Remember, you can always go back to this light. It is always with you. You can thank it for shining, for embracing you, for giving you warmth like the sun with no judgment at all. You can thank it for it wanting more for you, for your life and for the people around you, for being loved and being loved by it. Take another deep breath, let it cleanse you. Breathe out. Another one. And while you breathe, you can wiggle your toes a bit, maybe wiggle your fingers. And you're ready. You can open your eyes. And I welcome you back here.
That was so beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It is such a gift to let somebody experience the light as you did for me and as I hope to do for others. And to, while it's so close now, when we've just felt it, I also have a little question for you, for everybody who's watching. And I want you to feel if you can, see if you can write down one tiny, tiny thing you can do this week, maybe today, to embrace this light. Maybe it's something you want to do for yourself, something you want to do for others. Maybe it's something a little scary that you've been meaning to do but didn't dare to. Small things are so powerful, but it lets you connect for another time with what you felt today. And the more you connect with, the more it's going to be in your system to keep connecting and letting it grow. And before you know it, you are just embracing it fully. And I mean, I just want you to know it's always there for you. You can always connect to this, even without my guidance. It is already there. You don't need help. You just need a little moment for yourself. Thank you.
Wow. It is so beautiful. It was so warming and relaxing. I feel all calm, and I would really say for everybody watching, yeah, do this and write down that question and answer it for yourself. Maybe journal about it if you want, or journal about the journey, because I know that I'm going to do it. I really loved it. And just to really give this honest, you know, I love how to have things open and to lead by example, or kind of practice the preach as say. And for me, it showed me this exercise with you. It showed me, for example, that there's this ball of light that is also still sometimes restraining from it. I can feel how it wants to expand even more, right? And sometimes I hold on to that expansion. So I saw just now, and I'm grateful for you sharing this gift and this beautiful exercise with us. Thanks so much.
I mean, also, it's totally fine if you hold back sometimes. If you need to take a breather and just, like you said, like hold it down a bit, like, please don't shine any harder. It's just, this is enough for me now. But know that you are the one that decides whether or not this is happening. Once you're conscious of how you are holding it back, you can also let it go. You know how to.
Yeah.
It's daring to, and it's scary. It's jumping over a cliff. But like I said, you could do just a tiny jump over a puddle of water. It doesn't have to be a cliff. And it's just okay if you don't dare to today.
Yeah.
Just you can do. Just roll with it.
Roll with it. Yeah. Well, loving it.
It's just totally, I feel it's totally scary when you're always asked to do these big things and big steps. And if, you know, like, if you're not scared of your dreams, it's not big enough. I'm like, hold on a second. I want to enjoy this, not be scared all the time. And there's truth in it, but also accept that you can't always grow. You can't always strive and go forward. It's fine if you just want to hang out here for a bit, but just know it's in your hands to do so and to also progress and step forward.
Wow, dear, I love how you shared your wisdom with us today, and thanks so much for all your gifts and the
Thank you so much.
preparation.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. I love talking, so I love being able to share my passions and my world and feeling love, just sending out the message. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, dear. Let's talk soon.
Yeah,
And,
we will.
I will get back to you after this, of course, but we'll just close now this live.
Yeah.
And
And
thanks
if
for
there's any questions, and maybe you were going to say it as well, but if there's anything you want to ask me or want a vision about, just pop in a question in the comments and I'll get back to you in the next couple of days. So feel free to use my brain, to pick my brain.
Yeah,
if you're watching.
beautiful. Feel free to find us and watch this whenever you want. And yes, also your beautiful website and your beautiful social media will be put in the comments of this live as well. And
Yeah, come find me.
Yes, so that everybody can find you. All right. Thank you, dear. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye.